UV St. Augustine.
That's right. And I'm seeing, of course, the recommendation is always to boost non-energy exports. And, you know, we've always been speaking of that level of diversification for quite a while. Are we anywhere closer to that? I mean, yes, we are a manufacturing nation, and we have to say kudos to the private sector for keeping that wheel turning. But are we anywhere from a more administrative government level getting to that place of going for a low-hanging fruit, going a different direction?
I would say no, that we know nowhere closer to diversifying the economy. And I think the government really needs to take a lead in helping us to diversify away from our dependence on the energy sector. And the government can do that by making the ease of doing business or implementing measures that would improve the ease of doing business in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
And I think that's crucial because not many investors are going to put money into a country where it's difficult to get clearances from the regulators, where it's difficult to get a license to buy or lease land. And there are other ways in which the environment in Trinidad and Tobago makes it difficult to do business. For example, getting access to foreign exchange. That is still quite a difficult issue. And whether foreign investors can get the funds to repatriate profits is a problem. And in the energy sector, you have the NGC seeking to increase the amount of revenue it generates from the petrochemical sector. And that may be turning off some of the large investors in at Point Lisas from dedicating more capital to expanding the output in Trinidad and Tobago.
As we move on to another story here, Peter Christopher's story, and it's to treat with Aisho Speed's visit, not only to the region, but specifically to Trinidad and, well, not Tobago, just Trinidad. He came here first, and the minister is saying, of course, that's Minister Maharaj, Minister of Trade, Investment and Tourism. He said that more or less the trip kind of came out of the blue. He said, you know, I mean, this trip, he says, was a surprise. Now, Aisho Speed would have put this out on his platform, I would say a week or so, 2 weeks before the actual trip. So they're trying to work on an influencer strategy coming out of this particular Aisho Speed and the eyeballs and the momentum, and I guess his platform being such a large one globally. I would imagine they have learned some lessons from this, and they will work on what I'm seeing, influencer strategy. What's your take on this development, and what's your takeaway from this story?
Yeah, first of all, I must admit, and this is probably giving away my age, that I had never heard of this gentleman before all of the hoopla that surrounded his visit. So that's one. Secondly, the Minister of Tourism is saying that basically that it's difficult to leverage the visit of this one influencer, and that what the government is working on is a strategy to encourage influencers to come to this country.
Understood. So I guess lessons are learned, because I'm sure even the minister too probably had no idea. I'm sure his younger staff would have had to inform him as to who's Aisho Speed and the reach and influence. I mean, you're not alone in that regard, Anthony. Many did not know the young man before his visit. Let's move now to the Venezuela story. I'm seeing Venezuela challenging T&T in its backyard. That's a Rafael John Lal story.
Yeah.
Challenging, that's a strong word.
Yeah. And it's a strong word because, of course, that comes in the context of the Vice President of Venezuela, Delcy Rodriguez, visiting Grenada and Barbados last month. And I think everybody in the region took notice of the fact that she visited Grenada, she visited Barbados, but she did not visit Trinidad and Tobago. And Trinidad and Tobago, of course, is the closest Caribbean country, closest English-speaking Caribbean country to Venezuela. Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela have, I would say, ties in the energy sector. There's a lot of talk about the development of the Dragon gas, which is on the Venezuelan side of the northwest peninsula of Trinidad. And, you know, it's these analysts that we spoke to took note of the fact that Trinidad and Tobago was not in that discussion with the Venezuelan vice president.
Well, I mean, we can't bury our heads in the sand. It's quite obvious as to why.
Precisely, yes.
It's quite obvious as to why this is the reality. Obviously, there are diplomatic ties, so the diplomatic channels are open. But as it pertains to the leaders of both countries, clearly the relationship is probably at an all-time low. It's no secret. That's public disclosure.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely correct. And the relationship between the two leaders is at an all-time low because there were harsh words exchanged between Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar and the Vice President Delcy Rodriguez. And of course, our Prime Minister was declared persona non grata last October, coming out of T&T's strong support of the U.S., destruction of boats in the Caribbean Sea, and so on.
Yeah. As we wrap things up, Anthony, just a quick recap on your development, your story. How high can TT and GL go without financial information? I'm watching this development here on page 3.
Yeah. I would say TT and GL is a success story on the local stock market. The value of that stock has increased by 4 times for the year. And therefore, people who stayed invested in it would have done very well.
Anthony, I want to, as always, thank you for stepping in and giving us the Business Guardian recap. I'll be touching base with you during the course of the day. So a little development I would have seen with some Trinidad business being featured on CNN. So definitely I want to pass that information to you so that could be given a proper highlight. So I'll be talking to you during the course, Anthony. All the best.
Okay, great, Jason. Thank you.
For sure. Anthony Wilson there touching base with us. We will take that pause and we come back and get into a very important discussion concerning some developments there in Tobago. The political leader of the IDA, Fadangas, joins me to treat with the Tobago Marine Park Bill. We stand by for that very important discussion next.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Get a loan at Bremont. The process is simple. Fast and efficient approvals. Receive funds within 24 hours once approved. And no penalty for early repayment. Located at 4 Gallows Street, Woodbrook. Remember, we like to lend.
Shop this month end at Food Basket, Marketplace, Arima, Chaguanas, Champlain, and Goville. With a purchase purchase of $500 and over, you get to choose a free case of Chubby, a bale of toilet paper, 2 cases of water, or 3 5-liter liquid detergent. Yes, you can get to choose an item for free with purchases of $500 and over. Don't miss it, happening this month at Food Basket Marketplace in Arima, Shagona, Champlain, and Gulfview. Food Basket Marketplace, where shopping is a pleasure and the price is right.
Visit Tire Clinic Marketing, New Truck and OTR Tire Service Center at number 30 and 32 Montrose Main Road, Chagonas. Call today at 665-8973 or 672-3419. Alignment services available. Tire Clinic Marketing, Truck and OTR Service Center. A tire for every need.
What a surprise!
Oh, please, be seated.
We were not expecting you. On behalf of the company, I would like to extend to you our heartfelt condolences.
Thank you very much.
This is a very complicated situation.
I have no intention of being dependent on Charisma's handouts because I intend to take full responsibility of running this company.
In Westwood Park, nothing stays hidden for long. Watch the drama unfold. Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. only on CNC3.
Tobago administration increasingly willing to compromise Tobago's patrimony, increasingly willing to align unquestionably with the UNC central government, increasingly silent when Tobago is marginalized. Make no mistake, Tobagonians are noticing. Your current MPs sit on the bench with the government in the House of Representatives, and nary a word from them on many pressing matters. They sit occupying space, saying nothing. Mute on advocacy for Tobago, mute on crime situation, plain and simply mute and invisibility.
Remarks there from the opposition leader Penelope Beckles on the status of Tobago through her lens. Let's get some assessment from another personality in the politics, of course, the political leader of the IDA, Dr. Denise Soifat-Angus. She joins me on the phone line this morning to treat with this particular statement and other pressing issues coming out of the sister island. Dr. Soifat-Angus, good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Jason, and good morning to your listeners and viewers, wherever they are across the world.
Let me ask you, Dr. Soifat-Angus, your reaction to the opposition leader's statement. I know you would have heard it just now, and it would have also featured in the news last evening. Is her assessment at this point in time an accurate one through your lens?
Well, I think we need to go back and review the whole situation. Right now, she's just reviewing a small piece of the history. But I think the PNM is misreading the tea leaves, because it is clear that Tobagonians as a whole don't want to be or feel they are subservient to any central government. Okay? And perhaps this is why they would have, over the last few years, they would have voted so resoundingly against the PNM and against, against what we would call, central government stronghold over Tobago. And we can't deny that, the PNM as a national party, that is who, they are in terms of the Tobago scenario. And Tobagonians voted against that. Even a lot of the PNM people did not come out to vote. And I think people are moving beyond having a national party control the Tobago space. Now, in regards the supposedly Tobago party and its very strong alliance with central government, Tobagonians will deal with that too. It is unfortunate. We don't mind the collaboration and mutual respect, but the total instruction that appears to come from central government all the time. You know, I think Tobagonians would like to move beyond that. PNM must take some responsibility also. I think she said that they always want Tobago to do things on their own. But they must take some responsibility, and even the incoming political leader, that over the last 4 years, they were the ones who held on to the Tobago Marine Bill that was passed by a PNM administration in Tobago, supported by the then opposition, which the Chief Secretary was a part of. And they held on to the Tobago Marine Bill and never moved it forward in Parliament to this day. So they have to also take some responsibility that they were slow on the draw with getting, excuse me, the actual Marine Bill passed that had way more consultation than the current bill.
Let me ask you, as it pertains to central government, so we have seen where when PNM administration was at the wheel under the stewardship of Dr. Rowley, whether it's ego, whether it's that Tobago pride and strength, I don't know what it was, but clearly for Ali Augustine, Dr. Rowley, they could not really see eye to eye. There were a lot of different tensions, obviously. You're seeing a much more cordial relationship, and coming out of that, we would have seen even more allocated to Tobago via the budget of 2025, 2026. So I'm trying to figure out what is the issue with being cordial and having a good relationship with central government, because at the end of the day, lots of the resources that come to Tobago to keep Tobago afloat comes from central government here in Trinidad. So all this talk of, I mean, I understand the autonomy discussion, and that's a very important one, and I respect it. But I'm trying to figure out what is the drawback, really, from having a good relationship with central government.
There's nothing wrong, and I mean, we support having a good relationship regardless of who is in power. Yeah? But you cannot be totally consumed by it, that you're not willing to call a spade whenever, you know, the point in time comes to be able to do it. And that has been the challenge over the years. So when they talk now that the current ministers of parliament are very quiet and say nothing, that is correct. But where were the voices of the then ministers last PNM administration when this whole Tobago Marine Bill came up and nothing was done about it? So we have to get to a point where, regardless of who is in power, whether it's your friend or your foe, that you feel comfortable for standing up for Tobago's business and not cower under the guise of friendship. You know, take, for instance, we go back to that whole issue of the radar, and it's sorry, we have to revisit that. But when that whole thing came out, the Chief Secretary didn't necessarily stand up for Tobago. It was just, as if he had to just go along with everything, and could not truly stand up and say what he needed to say on behalf of the Tobago House of Assembly. So it's dynamics that we have to work out, and I believe that the relationship between the two islands has to go beyond give me more money for autonomy, give me lawmaking powers, or let me define my borders. It has to go beyond to truly defining the relationship between the two islands, with perhaps even a redesign of how government works in either place.
Yeah, in terms of the general feeling on the ground concerning the Marine Parks Bill, and of course that greater discussion concerning the jet skis and safety coming out of that most tragic incident there a couple of weeks ago. Is that still a relevant conversation? Because you're hearing the owners of the fun crafts and these skis and stuff saying one thing, and then, obviously you're getting a different discussion on the ground, and just trying to get a sense of what's the consensus really in Tobago concerning the bill, and more so that issue with the jet ski.
It's a very topical conversation, and there are many parts to it. If we go back to the fact that it's not the first time that persons would have been injured or having died in this whole pleasure boat operations, whether it be jet skis, all of that. And so even in a recent judgment, I think from 2017, where persons were paralyzed in a situation, the judgment found in 2024, I believe, that the THA was fully and wholly responsible because they did not have enough markers or proper markers in the waters, signage, all of that, warning signs. And so it was unfortunate that this situation happened again. So the THA could not have taken itself out of it, and this is the knee-jerk reaction that it comes over as, that there was loss of life, so we had to do something to seem like we are not totally responsible. Because it was only then that you see booms going up, markers are going up, and even then there's not proper enforcement and monitoring of the space to change behaviors by the THA. And why they were liable is that the judge says, listen, you charge money to go in there all the time, so you can't say you're no longer responsible, that you only have administrative responsibility because you're earning an income going in there, and therefore you're responsible for ensuring safety at every turn.
Yeah.
So this happens, and their response is, let us run into the assembly and pass a new bill, even though there's a bill in front of that. Mm-hmm. And there was zero consultation with the people, and that's not how you do things. Because in this situation, you must balance life with livelihoods. And I think that is all the persons are asking. Have a conversation with us. So their reaction now has been seen as one of utter disrespect by not meeting with the persons to actually consult before going forward with this new marine bill, which consultations were held previously for the other one. And so they seem to have lack of care and understanding of the whole situation. Mm. And, it really should not be accepted by the people. So I actually applaud the jet ski operators for having their meetings, inviting them to the meetings, and not stepping down on this, because it has been a high-handed approach without concern for balance between life and livelihood.
Well,
there has to be a balance in this situation, and that balance could only come when you have consultations with everyone, not just the jet ski operators, but but also the bathers. So that should be done at this time. It's not too late, because the bill has not gone down to Parliament.
Well, thanks for
and perhaps we're talking about autonomy, and like I said, we have to go beyond the basics. The autonomy has to also have a redesign of the governance structure, so that when our leaders don't want to do the right thing, we have to put in the guardrails. Yeah. We can't just leave it to an administration with a good heart. We have to start putting some guardrails in there, because if we are to make laws, we have to ensure that the people don't become oppressed by laws that are being put in. And that is what this Tobago Marine Bill, this new bill, is seeming to do.
Let me ask you, before we wrap things up officially, your take on the new P&M Tobago Council. Just your reaction to who the members of the party there in Tobago would have decided to go with, and just your general sense of that particular process and the personalities going forward?
Well, I do congratulate them. I mean, it's really about a mathematical interpretation, which they themselves put out there, that of 10,000 persons on our list, pretty much they got 19% coming out to take part. So I really don't know what they think of that interpretation. But like I said, there is a sentiment in Tobago that we have to start moving past national party having official powers to instruct whomsoever is in the Tobago space about what happens in Tobago. It may appear to be giving you, whatever you need, resources or whatever, but we have seen many instances where that has not occurred, and at the end of the day, it is really about finding parties that are willing to strike the balance between a central government and a Tobago House of the Assembly, and to be able to walk side by side and not to be instructed as to the development in Tobago, as to who should be developing in Tobago, as to who should be receiving contracts to do anything in Tobago. And that is the challenge that Tobago is dealing with right now. And perhaps that is why the apathy around a national party is occurring.
Well, Dr. Denise Soifadangas, sincere thanks as always. We'll touch base soon, and all the best to you and yours.
Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you. We will continue. Up next, police and you. That's right. Very important discussion ahead with, that's right, Officer Russell, and we get into that immediately. See you soon.
Love Mom with a gift from PRW Enterprises. Huge sale on smart TVs as low as $1,150. Give Mom an HP laptop for $3,000. Samsung A9 tablet, $1,199. Robot vacuum only $1,299. Bluetooth party speaker, $2,500. MSI 21.5-inch monitor, only $850. Call PRW today at 285-9779.
Celebrate Mother's Day with Magical Expressions Limited. We're the largest local importer and distributor offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us at 701-6488 or 701-6680 or visit our website to order.
Loving the flavors you get with Tetley, loving the flavors you get with Tetley.
Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Dark, strong British blend to give you a good morning boost. Or Tetley decaf, all of the antioxidants, none of the caffeine. Losing weight or staying healthy your thing? Try Tetley green tea. Get the vitamins to boost your health with Tetley super teas. Or calm down with Tetley chamomile. Wouldn't you just love a cup of Tetley tea right now? Tetley, a tea for everyone.
Loving the flavors you get with Tetley, a tea for everyone. Tetley tea.
Distributed by AMCO, a subsidiary of Ansa McCall.
There's a hole in the bucket.
Well, fix it, dear Johnny. Just fix it. And while you're doing that, remember the roof is leaking, the house needs painting, all those kitchen tiles need changing. So tell me, Johnny, what about the plumbing? The driveway needs paving. Plus, you promised to add a new room to the house. I find it's about time. Johnny, fix it.
There has never been a better time for a TBLA home improvement loan. Call us today at 623-1501 or visit us at tblamortgages.com.
In the ever-changing media landscape, we at Guardian Media strive always to put you our viewers and readers first.
We strive to uphold the time-honored tenets of responsible journalism.
For us, accuracy is key.
And in our reporting, we strive not only to be first, but fair,
impartial,
and to uphold journalistic integrity.
Above all, we are accountable to you, and we must respect the views of our audience. That is our solemn contract with you.
Keen attention to detail.
Rigorous verification of facts.
Use of credible sources and sound editorial judgment.
Keep track of our editorial policies and guidelines, including our corrections policy, by logging on to www.guardian.co.tt for more.
Officer Russell joins me live on set for a very important discussion. Of course, it's Police and You, this and every Thursday, and we thank ESP Russell for being here with us as always. Good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Williams. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. On behalf of the Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commissioners, Assistant Commissioners, and First and Second Division Officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, as usual, it's a pleasure being here. I trust that all is well.
Yes, and all is well, and we look forward to your counsel as always. Before we get into the home invasions, I want to ask your advice on a video we saw recently. I know it's under investigation, so we can't go too deep into the matter. We saw Alderman being assaulted, and from what we understand, he was trying to break up a fight. As an adult, as a parent, as a concerned citizen, if we see youngsters fighting, based on what we saw there and the outcome of, the unfortunate outcome of the video, I guess is to keep walking. I mean, I'm trying to figure out at what point should we intervene, because it seems that if you intervene, sad might be a portion.
Mr. Williams, after I said my prayers and my daily devotions this morning, I replayed that incident in my mind. I have been looking at it since last night, and I'm saying, what do I tell the public, you know? It places us in a difficult situation. I guess I'll have to say call the police immediately, because it was females. And this gentleman could have mind his business and go on his way. He decided to be an upstanding citizens, persons we have been clamoring for, you know, acts of heroism that we have been asking to see more of. And look at the outcome. And I want to know, I challenge the parents at home who are aware that their children were involved in that, to bring them to the police station, to bring them in school and introduce them to the principal so that the police could do a proper investigation and let the chips fall where it may. We must stand up and take back control, Mr. Williams. That is craziness, because I'm certain if it was something where one of those children were a victim of an accident, everybody would have wanted an adult to stop and help.
Yeah, most adults now, I guess based on that video and just the reality of the day, I think lots of folks might probably hold a strain. I guess only if their child is involved, they might see a parent, you know, losing, and even in that...
Mr. Williams, I've seen them beating parents and the children and all.
Yeah, even in that scenario too. So it's one, keep us posted. If you get, honestly, if you get any update on that between now and next week, please inform us as to if there will be any kind of discipline.
And
we saw there was unacceptable.
And let me just highlight something further, you know. The public, they're placing so much demands on the police service. The resources of the police service, it's not infinite. It is not. So we have the school-oriented policing program. What are you saying to us now? We have to follow them home just now. Because that's what we say now, you know. And then when you have vehicle to follow them home, the bandit gone somewhere else. I mean, we need to work together to get crime down, but Lord.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that when I saw that, it really left a heaviness in my heart. I hope the alderman is recovering.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Let me ask you, home invasions, I saw of another incident in, I believe, Williamsville yesterday. We know of the scenario that transpired over the weekend, resulting in the death of 4 alleged perpetrators who were part of that unfortunate and most brutal enterprise of home invasions. It's a total disrespect to invade someone's castle, their sanctuary, their home, to ransack the place. We're hearing of this incident. A gun was held to the elderly lady's head. These are traumatic incidents. What can we do to not be a soft target, and what's being done from a TTPS standpoint to really stamp that out and to make men think twice, 4, 5 times before they even embark on such a venture?
Mr. Williams, you know, and I see the comments, right? And I have to always relate to the negative comments that persons make continuously about the policing and the policing efforts, right? You saw the results of weekend, right? 4 persons met their demise, unfortunately. Condolences to their families. 2 suspects held in relation to that. So we're looking at 4 and 2 is 6, and I think they're still looking for 2 more. And we thought that, all right, cool, we would have made a dent, a significant dent in the tall boots team. And then days after, there was another victim. My heart hurt me, 67 years of age.
Yeah.
All they left with was a cell phone. Even the one weekend, all they got was a cell phone and about, what, $1,200. 4 lives lost for $1,200. When would person really sit up and take heed? You hear the passion in my voice? Mm-hmm. When would we turn from our crime ways? When would we realize that it is not working? So we're saying no business owner is safe. What do we do then? I heard the clarion call for airfuels once more. Maybe it's something that have to be revisited. We ask persons to have security surveillance system, and we ask them to go one step further, have it linked to our response team. Like one of those security companies who provide the service, or maybe I don't want to give anybody any free advertisement, but we could go and Google who provides that response team. We have introduced a home invasion team in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and an extortion team.
Who heads that unit?
ACP Richard Smith.
Okay.
Heads that unit. So we recognize there is a problem. We open a unit specifically to deal with that, and they were responsible for coordinating the events of weekend. Yeah? We ask persons to burglar-proof their place, but of course you're doing business. We ask persons to verify person's identity before they come into your place, but not everybody have access control. So maybe you need to have access control to your regular business now that you have the authority to determine who comes in and who leaves your businesses by clicking your door.
Well, you know, I hear the passion in your voice, I hear the hurt. And what we'll do, we'll definitely continue this next week and the week after as we bring more awareness and just remind folks how to treat with the moment and the live reality of Trinidad and Tobago at this point in time, especially if you're into business. We're getting ready for the 7 a.m. news update. We literally have a couple seconds. Any closing remarks in the 15 seconds that remain?
Well, let me start by saying happy Mother's Day to all the mothers of the nation on behalf of myself and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, and to our mothers in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, whether you would have brought forward a child, or you parent, or you're the guardian or relative that really looks after a child, happy Mother's Day to you as well. And we recognize your contribution with respect to making Trinidad and Tobago a better place. I want everybody to have a safe weekend. There are quite a few events on this weekend. We ask that you make yourself a hard target. Be careful, be responsible, and the rainy season has started. So to the drivers, please ensure that your vehicles are roadworthy, tires good, wipers, headlights, etc. Have a safe and wonderful weekend.
Officer Russell, sincere thanks, and you have a safe one yourself. We get ready, the 7 a.m. news update. It's next. See you soon. Thank you.
Need to upgrade to a better phone system? Contact the experts at Voice Outsourcing. In office or remote, our phone system allows you to take every call. Grow your bottom line by offering excellent customer service. Call 217-1895 or 628-8182 or email today.
On Mother's Day, Sunday, May 10th, bring your mothers, sisters, wives, and the entire family to the luxurious, specially decorated Cascadia Hotel Ballroom St. Anne's for this exceptional Mother's Day buffet lunch and show.
From 12 noon, come enjoy a sumptuous buffet lunch prepared by the world-class chefs, which include appetizers, desserts, cocktails, and more. Then, from 2 p.m.,
mothers will be serenaded by the Caribbean stars live. Wendell McBurney,
Patricia Smith,
and soca star Sanel Dempster.
And the King Weston Rollins with love songs and gospel. Early bird tickets available now at $500
at Cascadia Hotel St. Anne's, Crosby St. James, Cache Port of Spain, Michelle's Fashions Arima, Sona Jewelers, Shoguana San Pinal, Bellini, Strugmart, San Fernando, and online at islandetickets.com.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
Sportsmanship is when an athlete walks off the court and you can't tell if he won or lost because he carries himself with pride either way. This quote is an embodiment of sport, and for me, sport is an embodiment of life. We are where you are.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning, I'm Ryan Beachy with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC radio network. A 27-year-old woman has been shot dead and her companion left critically injured after gunmen blocked their vehicle and opened fire along Magritude Road in Princestown. The incident happened just after midnight yesterday. The dead woman has been identified as Monifa Carey of Beetham Gardens, Port of Spain. Carey was in a white Nissan Sentra driven by her child's father, 30-year-old Isaiah Cruikshank of Manahambry Road, Princestown, when they were ambushed by the gunmen who opened fire. Cruikshank was struck but managed to get out of the vehicle while Carey stayed behind. Passers-by took Carey and the wounded man to hospital where she died. Officers of the Region 3 Homicide Bureau are continuing inquiries. A 67-year-old woman is recovering after a terrifying home invasion in Ben Lomond Village, Williamsville. 4 bandits stormed the family's home around 10 a.m., assaulting the elderly woman and one of her workers while holding a gun to her head. The ordeal lasted only minutes, ending when the victim's husband arrived, startling the attackers who fled with just a cell phone. Her son, Ranjiv Maharaj, who was upstairs at the home, recalls hearing his mother's screams. He says the incident has left the family shaken, especially as they operate a long-standing rental business in what was once considered a quiet area.
This thing turned out to be like a horror story because you don't know what could happen. There's only what if and what if that didn't happen or whatever. But when they come with evil in your house, and they don't really care.
Internationally, Argentine health officials are scrambling to investigate if a deadly hantavirus outbreak on an Atlantic cruise ship originated within their borders. The MV Hondias, which departed from the southern city of Ushuaia, has reported 3 deaths, including a Dutch couple and a German traveller. Experts blame a surge in local cases on climate change. Rising temperatures and shifting ecosystems have allowed disease-carrying rodents to thrive in new regions. While the ship's departure point has no history of the virus, investigators are now tracing the victim's footsteps through the forested hills of the Patagonia. With infection rates in Argentina doubling since last year, officials warn that early flu-like symptoms are making this outbreak harder to contain. Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our major newscast at 7 p.m.
Welcome to this, the second hour. Behavioral change consultant Johanse Iodike joins me live on set for another most, I would say, impactful talking point on today's topic. Do you have to respond? Well, I think in this case you have to. Good morning, Johanse.
Good morning.
You have to respond.
Good morning to everybody.
Good morning to you. So do you have to respond? And you know, this is one where I can safely say I've been in incidents where I've been confronted in a public space, realm called scene. I think I would have explained that scenario to you. And I didn't respond, you know, I responded by just walking away when I was approached in a most violent way, and a way that I guess if I did respond and the way I was going to respond, I wouldn't have probably been in the seat today. I would have, I think it would have been sully on my character and people would not look for me there. But it was my mind, I really wanted to run up the person's chest and run down their back and respond in kind, but I just swallow it and I walk away. And I feel better today. I mean, I was very upset in the moment, but time does heal. It doesn't even matter anymore. And those were just words, eh?
No, you see, sometimes based on the scenario, you may not have the presence of mind, right? And I say that both for big and small situations, because let me say big, let me say that I make out seeing something public happen. Let's call that a big, right? Let's go smaller now, right? Respond meaning, if your phone ring, right? You have to respond.
No, you don't have to.
But you saying that, but how plenty people think they have to respond enough?
Because they also operate from a place of respect where they understand communication is respect, and you know, especially with business and clients and in a relationship, you know, there are people, regardless of what, if their significant other calls, they will, a meeting, it could have been whatever, they will answer. And I think it's just that kind of mindset, I guess, comes from a place of respect and, well, by extension, love of what you do and the person.
Now, you see what you highlight there, and that's important. Why I'm bringing it up, for people to understand why they have that urge now. Because I'm not telling you yes or no, you know, but it's to understand what occurs. Because you use the word respect. Some people is fear. Some people is anxiety. I have to answer this, you know. Or they look at the phone, and once you see a number by an icon, right? It could be WhatsApp, it could be email. Once you see that number, they have to clear that number. And if they don't clear that number, they feel a certain way. Some people describe it to me as an itch. Some people say it's actually bringing them anxiety because either I don't know who it is or don't know what they're going to say.
If it's somebody who, let's say, would have been in some infraction, some kind of wrong stand-up, as we say in local parlance, and there are certain insecurities in the relationship, and obviously if you don't respond, it might trigger a bad memory, or it might bring up a conversation that you don't want to have where, well, I couldn't guarantee you where you was, who you was with. People go through that all the time. Why not answer your phone? And people who call you over and over and over, I guess 5 missed calls within 3 minutes. How you treat with that, you answer? Especially if you're living with the person.
Well, one is to understand what your phone does do to you. Because we are humans, everything that we have means something different to us, right? So a phone could be dependent. If you're a business person, a phone could be a business, right? A phone could be, if you have, like we say, children, a phone could be a way for you to keep in contact with children, keep in contact with your spouse. Like we say, you have an elderly parents, right? What does the phone mean to you? Because it's not just a toy anymore. If you understand what I'm saying, it's not just a thing. A phone means a lot to most of us, which means the phone is tied into your psyche. Tied into your mental health. So understanding that is important. Some people don't understand it. Some people just say, well, I have to answer, you know, I can't just let the phone ring, but they don't understand why. And then sometimes they put on the phone, and you ever hear about a phantom vibrate? Right? Some people, they feel the phone vibrating in the pocket, but it's not really vibrating. How on edge some people are. Some people, the phone not even in the pocket, you know, but they're feeling like if it vibrating because of how much tied into it they are.
What about for those who engage in the social media experience on their said phone and go through the comments and look to respond to a comment that is not flattering or complimentary? Because, I mean, there are many who feel they feel obligated to respond, especially if somebody is speaking out of turn or something that's not true, and they feel like you have to defend your name and defend your brand and defend your position.
Well, you see that obligation part? I can't tell anybody, because every situation is different, whether it's right or wrong to respond. But what I urge people is to understand why they want to respond. Now again, you start it with responding to a social situation, and I add it into other things. But it's also social situation, because even the incident spoken about before on the police and you, right? About the older man, right? He chose to respond, right?
Yeah, look what happened.
Now, of course, he couldn't predict that, right? But you chose to respond based on whatever is your premise. So I'm not saying he right or he wrong, right? But it's to understand sometimes why you're doing these things. Why do we really need to respond? Is it your job to respond?
Well, I think, based on the current climate, our lived reality, not suggesting all young people conduct themselves like what we saw in the video, but we're talking here a highly volatile situation, adrenaline pumping, people blood hot. In any scenario like that, if you intervene, things go downhill. Since we're small, you always hear the peacemakers be the one who was get killed, When people fighting, they always say the peacemaker is the one who end up getting the bad stab or the stray bullet.
Then they ain't really the peacemaker, They try to make peace, they're attempting to make peace, but they ain't the peacemaker. So if you understand what I'm saying now.
So are we living in a time where the peacemaker needs to take a back seat? Because I wonder what should be any adult's response if they see something, especially with young people going astray?
Well, if you understand the reality you live in, before, what was taught to children was different in terms of, especially like we go with females now, right? Because I know, according to the report, a girl was involved in it, right? Before, it was told that, female have to be quiet, you have to be inside, you have to be, etc. Now it is, as a female, you could do whatever you want, right? You could be equal as a man. And even with children, you would tell children, so this is not gender specific now. This is, with children, you tell children, you could be whatever you want, you could do whatever you want. Children now, parents don't really ask children what they want to know. Before it was, you have to do as I say. That's not the premise before. So then, if I approach a child, that's the mentality I go with, because that's what was done. But now it's a totally different situation.
Because, this is a serious question, and because everyone in every scenario, not probably every day, but there will be that day where you have a choice to make. Do I respond? Do I leave it alone? For me, when I was in a situation where it was very public, and someone would have been, again, it's just words. It's words. So I try not to react to words, Because if I was to use violence to somebody's words, I know when you're wrong because it's words.
Right.
And, I respect the seat I sit on. This seat is not my seat. Anyone could be in this seat. If I'm not here tomorrow, somebody else will be in the seat. But while I'm in the seat, I respect the seat, I respect the audience. And, that's what passed through my mind. Also, my son, too, family. So what went through my mind was not embarrassing my family and not embarrassing those who support me in the seat and those who gave me that trust to be in this seat. There's a seat that requires a certain respect. And it can't be I come in on the seat and people see me, like how that video with the older man and the students on the ground rolling with somebody. I literally, within the 5 seconds, that play my mind and I just pull back,
Right.
But I was real upset, but I was real mad when I was just, I find like, oh gosh, boy, this high road thing always had to take the high road all the time, boy.
Well, you see, let's call it low or high road. Let's say you're taking the road that you think is best for you. We're not judging is low or high. And I'm saying that for people. So whether you're responding to a social situation, the phone ring or a message, try, because sometimes it's not easy, try to do what you think is best for you. Sometimes answering that email 10 o'clock in the night is not best for you before you fall asleep, because you could do the same email in the morning. If you understand what I'm saying. Or if you know yourself, when you go and sleep, the email will be on your mind and you can't sleep. So then you need to respond to it. If you understand what I'm saying, because it's not necessarily right or wrong, but you understanding why.
For the person who responds with force and they do business and they're going to live with the response, they're responding hard. You come at 10, them come in at 100. They come in to flatten you. I guess once you make up your mind to face the consequences, you can respond, I guess.
You see, respond honestly. right? Because that's what sometimes brings the anxiety, you know, is that I don't know what to say, I don't know how to respond, I don't know things. You trying to manipulate the situation besides just being honest. Sometimes the response is no response because that's honest, but sometimes it is, hey, it's too late, hail me tomorrow. If you understand what I'm saying. Or you realize, I don't even want to engage in this yet. I'll engage in it in the morning. Sometimes you need to hide the app, right? If you need to, you know, something can get a notification without hearing the song, all of that, so that it's not on your mind, and then you check it when it's ever appropriate.
Well, that's it there for the mental health matters. You have the final say.
Nation, you don't have to respond to anything, but if you do, understand why you do it. Don't make life complicated, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
Well, a great conversation as always with Johan Say. Response is really up to you in the moment. I took the high road, and I think I'll continue taking that road. Yeah, let's take the pause, and we come back with some friends from the Ministry of Health as we treat with Caribbean Mosquito Awareness Week. Details after the break.
Low energy? Heart concerns? Migraines slowing you down? It's time to take control of your health. Join Wellness Unlocked, the series that brings expert advice and real solutions for a healthier you. In our latest episode, learn how Jameson CoQ10 can help support heart health, boost energy, and even reduce migraines. Get the science, the stories, and the steps to power up your health with CoQ10. Don't miss Wellness Unlocked. Watch now on CNC3 and start your wellness journey today.
Unfortunately, it looks as though you're having a heart attack. There is a 95% blockage within the left anterior descending artery.
Time is muscle, so the longer that your heart goes without the oxygen to that part of the organ, the more damage it does.
Prematurely stopping those medications puts you at a very high risk. So we always counsel patients to never ignore chest pain.
I've always wanted to be a mom. Always wanted to plan when it was going to happen.
What's wrong?
I'm pregnant. I haven't told Andrew yet.
You're not thinking about getting back together with him.
If you need me, I'm just a phone call away, okay?
Doesn't it bother you not having a plan?
Life's got a way of showing you what your next move's gonna be.
Season 2 of Sullivan's Crossing. Only on CNC3.
Is reliable, credible, and authentic. Thank you for trusting me to bring you the news. It's a privilege to be in your homes and hearts. With every story and every newscast, CNC3 is keeping you informed and inspired. When it comes to news, we are where you are.
This season, Ask the Doctor is at a new time. It's your weekly prescription for trusted medical advice. In the Doctor's Capsule, Dr. Tilak Singh breaks down big health topics clearly and simply. Get a dose of smiles in the Kiddies Capsule as our youngest experts share health tips with heart. Explore the science behind the headlines in Medical Minds, featuring real doctors, real insight, and your questions matter. Join the open forum live and get answers straight from the source. Ask the Doctor, every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
For me, people matter most. It's the same if you hail from Moruga, where I'm from, Mount Irvin, Scarborough, or Port of Spain. As a journalist, I'm focused on building that connection between Trinidad, the region, and the world.
Most importantly, I want always to use my voice as a powerful weapon to break down barriers wherever they exist. This is why we are where you are.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
With the declaration that the rainy season is here, and we got that declaration this week, I believe Monday, Sigoni brought that news to the news cycle. It's important to be proactive as opposed to reactive, and that's why some friends are here from the Ministry of Health, the public health inspectors. We welcome, of course, Kristen Morris, closest to me right here. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you, and you're here with great company, Marlene Griffith. Is that Koa Griffith?
Yes, Koa.
Excellent.
Good morning.
Well, ladies, let me just say thank you so much for being here. Such a timely discussion, and from what I understand, there's going to be an exhibition happening next week. I know I'll get some details from Marlene in a few, but Kristen, let me start with you as to the importance of this campaign and what plans are already in place to treat with, of course, the moment we're in. It's still very dry, but as the rain comes along, we have, of course, the stagnant water in the tire. People have stuff hanging around, and I know that's another campaign of awareness. But what you all do to prepare for rainy season?
Right, so we want to create awareness to the public as we go into the rainy season now. And we have a personal responsibility. So yes, we at Insect Vector, we would come around and we would treat for our breeding sites and so on and spray. But our personal obligation is to do our own inspections around our homes. So we're looking for articles that can breed mosquitoes, our gutterings, barrels, containers, our flower pots. So we want to reduce those breeding sites as we go into the rainy season so that we can try to break disease transmission, diseases caused by mosquitoes.
Indeed. Now, the Awareness Week that you're going to embark on, it officially starts next week, Marlene?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and what venues? Where are you going to be? Let me get the full complement.
So we'll be doing some exhibitions at 3 different venues. We'll be at Eastgates Mall on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. On Wednesday, we'll be at Extra Foods Plaza in San Grande. And on Friday, we will be at Gulf City Mall.
In terms of the locations, I'm seeing East, well, Grande, kind of northeast, I guess.
Further
right?
east, yes.
And then south, very strategic, I would imagine. These were very intentional locations?
Well, yes. We are trying to target certain communities that we would have a greater influx of, persons coming in, as well as communities that has high indices, areas that has high indices of mosquitoes, So we have also invited some schools to the exhibitions.
Excellent.
Right? So we can create that awareness amongst that level of the population.
Kristen and Marlene, I would wonder, I'm baffled as to why people don't secure their premises. A mosquito will come and bite you. And besides the discomfort and the buzzing, these insects carry diseases. And so much of it is preventable if we were to just really secure our premises. Every year we basically asking people the same thing. When you figure we can make that breakthrough, what needs to be done? You think it needs to start from the youngsters, educating the youngsters?
Correct, and that's why, although it's open to the public, we are specially targeting the Standard 5 students of selected schools in the locations that Marlene mentioned. But the thing about this Mosquito Awareness Week as well is that this is our 3rd year running it, okay? And it's actually Caribbean Mosquito Awareness Week. We, not only in Trinidad, but countries across the Caribbean also host Mosquito Awareness Week for that same week. It's usually held the 2nd week in May. And there are certain breeding sites, what we call cryptic breeding sites at Insect Vector Control Division, where you would not normally look and think that it might have mosquitoes liable to breed there. Things like your brick holes and gutterings, your water tanks that where you haven't connected your water lines to it. So those are cryptic sites. So the whole point about our awareness and health education is to identify those sites for persons, because we can't be everywhere all the time. So we depend on the public and the population to take that responsibility of securing things that you can, removing things that you can, and then we will do the rest.
When it comes to the spraying part of it, Marlene, what's the science behind that? Because I know it's a kind of two-sided coin with that. There are people who, spray, and people, love that. And then there are folks who say, well, it's killing mosquito and everything else. The spray.
Yes, that is true. So with spraying, as you said, it is a science, and we gather statistics before we actually go out to do spraying. All right, spraying cannot be done every day of the week. It has to be done routinely, all right, because you will affect the natural fauna of the environment, all right? So yes, we do strategic planning when we go out to do spraying. We have different types of spraying. We do aerial spraying. That's when the truck passes around, and we do ULV spraying. That is called ULV. We have residual spraying as well, where we do homes. We spray the walls of your home. The insecticide remains on the wall for approximately 3 months. So when the mosquito lands on the wall, it affects its nervous system and eventually dies. All right. We also do fogging, which is an instant knockdown of the adult mosquito. Right. So based on the situation where we are going to spray, we determine how we can conduct that spraying exercise.
I would imagine, Kristen, now is a busy time for you all. I mean, I would imagine it's really, you all were prepping for this particular moment, because as rainy season steps in, this is when the mosquito really, this is the season.
That's right, and that's why we have placed Mosquito Awareness Week at a strategic time. So in addition to the venues we mentioned, we are also going to do health education at our community centers and health centers across the country. So we have arranged lectures, so we are trying to target mass population.
Is there a misconception, Marlene, that, because, I grew up in Erin, so, that's deep country, bush, as they say. And there's this perception that, well, it's only really down country, you have this mosquito issue, but right in the urban spaces too, you could get touched.
That's right. And that is where the Aedes aegypti tends to, that's where they breed, in the urban areas.
More so than rural?
More so, that's correct. That's correct, yes, because they tend to breed in clear water. We've been hearing that all the time, right? And sometimes the mosquitoes live among us. They live among us, and we probably don't realize how deadly this mosquito can be.
No, more deadly than tiger, shark, lion, rhinoceros.
Yes.
If you Google what takes out the human beings in a year,
the most deadliest creature.
It's a mosquito.
It is.
Yeah. And because it's there among us every day, we probably, oblivious to the fact that it's so deadly.
No shark never bite me. No lion, but mosquito could take you out.
That's right.
I just want to interject on Marlene's point. If we could just go back to 2024, when we had the biggest outbreak of dengue in the country. And we had deaths caused by the Aedes aegypti. And Aedes aegypti, it does not only spread dengue, but also yellow fever, chickpea, and Zika. And it's endemic to Trinidad. And simply put, it means that it's just naturally found here amongst us. So that's why we are taking all steps to ensure that we could control its population.
Well, ladies, I want to thank you all so much for being here, for putting out the information. Where can folks go to get details online? Is there any particular spot?
So at the Ministry of Health's website, right? Also, Ministry of Health has a Facebook page and an Instagram page. They can get information about the diseases, about what we are doing. So feel free to follow.
Marlene and Kristen, thanks so much for being here. And again, it's kudos to their team for their proactive approach as opposed to reactive as we get into the rainy season. Speaking about the rain and the weather, let's check in with Sagoni, who's up next for our weather update. And after Sagoni, you're going to see Ian Wason on the seat taking you through for the morning shot up until 8. God spare, see you tomorrow. Sagoni, good morning.
Hi there, I'm Sigoni Mohammed with your daily dose of weather across the islands at this time. No significant change in the general synoptic pattern. We have generally fair to partly cloudy skies, and that's all happening under a very dry and stable air mass at this time, which is prevailing within a ridge pattern, which is the dominant feature, along with a mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust, which is very much present in the atmosphere. And you'll notice it because of that dull, gloomy look at times, mixing in with some cloudiness. So what does that mean for us in Trinidad and Tobago over the next couple of hours? Well, we could be looking out for hot, hazy, slightly breezy conditions because we do have a gentle wind happening at this time, and we'll see those temperatures soaring as the day progresses. Now, we do have early morning showers making its way across the islands. That's going to clear out, and then by this afternoon into the early evening period, we could see 1 or 2 quick passing showers moving across Trinidad and also in Tobago. So take notes where that is concerned, and because it's so hot out there today, be sure to find a nice, cool, shady area at times and take breaks when necessary. Now, for those of you heading offshore, let's take a look at what's happening here. No significant change in our forecast. Winds are coming out from an east to east, southeasterly direction, and we don't have that big of a difference in terms of the wind speed either. In terms of what's happening for open water interests, waves are approaching 2 meters in height, while nearshore areas will see waves around 1 meter or just below that if you are venturing out there. So overall, no significant marine weather activity at bay, so smooth sailing yet again if you do decide to head offshore. And with that, hey, that's a wrap on your forecast. That's it from me.
There's a hole in the bucket.
Well, fix it, dear Johnny. Just fix it. And while you're doing that, remember the roof is leaking, the house need painting, all those kitchen tiles need changing. So tell me, Johnny, what about the plumbing? The driveway needs paving. Plus, you promised to add a new room to the house. I find it's about time. Johnny?